Richardson, and my title of the speech is The Wrong Side of the Tracks. Driving through Dallas, there are times when your surroundings change immediately. 1 minute you're driving through nice neighborhoods with brick houses, white picket fences, and well-dressed people getting into their brand new cars. The next moment you're surrounded by liquor stores, dilapidated houses, and cash advance loan offices. These differences are clear examples of how Dallas has become economically segregated. This segregation may seem like a natural thing, but for the people who are left on the wrong side of the tracks, this majorly affects their ability to succeed. I have gained knowledge through first-hand experience in our work this semester with 4 schools in the DISD school district, all located in South Dallas, and through research we have done into the history of Dallas and student engagement. The socioeconomic segregation of Dallas, furthered by utilitarian ethics, has changed the self-perception of the lower-class students in Dallas and hindered their abilities to succeed. First, I will explain the segregation of Dallas into North and South Dallas. Then I will look at how this segregation affects the lower economic class and how utilitarianism pushes this segregation. Finally, I will explain how Design for Change tries to change the effects of this segregation. When I first heard about Dallas, I pictured it as one huge city. To my naive eyes, Dallas was one big place as an entire community. But that is not true. However, Dallas is actually divided into many different neighborhoods, and more broadly into North and South Dallas. The northern Dallas neighborhoods are significantly more wealthy than the South Dallas neighborhoods. According to the 2012 Dallas County Community Health Needs Assessment, completed by Edwards et al., up to 25% of people living in South Dallas are living under the poverty line, as compared to a maximum of 5% in North Dallas. The unemployment rate is also higher in South Dallas at 13%. The Dallas Chamber released the 2014 Regional Economic Guide, and there's a segment where it shows job clusters. These show different fields and where they are placed in Dallas as the majority of jobs. None of the clusters fell in South Dallas. The South Dallas neighborhoods have a less stable environment. The South Dallas Research Compilation, completed in 2006 by the J. McDonald Williams Foundation, breaks down some of the factors that attribute to this unstable environment. South Dallas communities have a homicide rate of 31.9 out of 1,000, which is 4 times the Dallas average. There's also a shortage of primary care physicians and specialty physicians in South Dallas, which makes it difficult for South Dallas residents to get any form of health care. Almost 50% of those living in South Dallas do not graduate high school. All of these factors add up to a lower quality of life in South Dallas. When someone is surrounded daily by a lower quality of life, it's hard for them to dream and reach as far as someone who's living in a higher quality of life. Dallas's utilitarian ethics could be a major contributor in the socioeconomic segregation. In his 2009 book, Justice, What's the Right Thing to Do?, Michael Sandel states that utilitarian ethics involve taking the course of actions where benefit outweighs the harm. The act that produces the most good for the most amount of people is the right choice, regardless of the harm that's being produced. When viewing the socioeconomic segregation through this lens, we could justify that more people are benefiting from the socioeconomic segregation. Those who are living in the higher income neighborhoods have a happier, healthier, more beneficial life, and this outweighs the pain of those living in the lower income neighborhoods. An example similar to this is the story of the ones who walked away from Omelas. Published in 1973, Ursula Le Guin tells the story of the city of Omelas, which is made up of only happy people. The story takes place during a festival that the city is having, and the readers are made to understand the complete happiness of everyone living in the city. However, the citizens are not blindly unaware. In the basement of a building in the city, there is a single child. He is simple-minded and has lived in the basement for years. However, he can remember a time when he did not live in the basement. All of the citizens know he is there, and many have visited him. However, none of them free him because they know that if they do, their happiness will disappear. The greater happiness of the community outweighs the pain and the sorrow of this child. In many ways, Dallas could be compared to Omelas. There's a higher standard of living in the north, and while people are aware of the pain that resides in the south, they know that if they try and fix it, they will be losing some of their own happiness. However, the Design for Change program looks for ways to change the system by empowering the child itself. The Design for Change program is working to lessen the negative effects of socioeconomic segregation. Design for Change takes students through a self-awareness curriculum to let them see positive aspects in themselves. It also allows students to see past stereotypes that are associated with their socioeconomic level. The program also focuses on the community as a whole and it brings all of it together to get a more positive view of the community itself. By building non-cognitive skills and empowering students, Design for Change gives students the tools to combat the negative statistics such as high mortality rates and low high school graduation rates. The issues surrounding the segregation are being noticed more and more. It is time that things begin truly changing. I've explained how Dallas socioeconomic segregation affects the students who live in the communities that are lower income. If you were to go walk the streets of Dallas, you would see that all of the statistics I've mentioned are true. As citizens of Dallas and of any city, it is our job to ensure that there is a healthy standard of living for all people and not just some. The utilitarian view taken on by Dallas only perpetuates the issues that low-income students face. Design for Change works to empower students and allow them to see past the boundaries that Dallas has placed on them. Hopefully, this will allow the children of Omelas to free themselves, where they will eventually thrive in a city where your social status does not limit your worldview, and driving through the streets of Dallas will no longer be trying to stay away from the wrong side of the tracks.